Hello everyone, I am Ramil Khalili and today we will learn R-Shiny. So before we start this tutorial, I want to note that you should have at least basic R knowledge, okay, in order to understand today's tutorial. So I assume that you already are familiar with the basic R functions and R operations. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about what's R-Shiny and what we can do with R-Shiny. With R-Shiny, we can create interactive apps, okay? We can just, you know, print out texts on the app or select input or for input, we can get something. We can create interactive dashboards later on. We can do a lot of things with R-Shiny, and R-Shiny is for creating interactive apps, and we can do a lot of things, and there are a lot of ideas. And today we'll start with simple things in order to understand what's R-Shiny. So in order to work with R-Shiny, we need library Shiny. First of all, R-Shiny. So I imported this library, as you can see. So let's clear this. And let's get started. So for any app, any kind of app, we need user interface. So user interface is that, we can actually interact with the website. When we go to some website, we select something, we type something, it's interaction, okay? For this, we always need user interface. So it is UI, okay? So let's start with UI and create our UI. So now we choose what kind of app we want. Here I want a single page website, single page app that I can actually scroll down. So here we need fluid page, okay? Fluid page. That's it, fluid page. So we chose it so that we can have scroll down kind of thing, okay? That's simple. Now we start with our elements, okay? Let's start simple. We'll have title panel, okay? We have title panel, and our title equals, let's say, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Okay, hello everyone. Let's start simple. Let's run this. As we can see, it's already run. And then we create our server. We always need server. UI, user interface, and server. Our server, don't get intimidated by that. It's always like that. Function, input, output, and session. I will leave it empty because we don't need anything here for now. I'm sorry. So that's it. So now we combine all of them with Shiny app, UI, and server. We run this, and yes, hello everyone. It's written here. You can change it. Hello all. Okay, run it again. That's just simple. It's our title here. Okay. Now we can add more things. Let's say we want select an input. Okay, we choose select input. Before everything, when we choose, okay, it will be drop down select. Okay, we'll select out of a list of numbers. Okay, this time. So select input. Okay, and here we need input ID all the time. In order to reference it in server, we need input ID. Here it will be num, referencing to number. Then we'll have a label. I will explain what that is. Select a number. It will appear before we select something, okay? So it will say select the number, please. So select the number, and then our real choices, okay? What will be our choices? What will be in the drop down? And in our vector, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Let's run this. As you can see, we have here drop down, okay? That's simple, that's interesting, right? We already created our basic interactive thing. Select the number, and that's it. Let's change our title to numbers to make it more logical. Numbers, and that's it. Perfect. Now let's say I want to, when I choose one, I want a text appear here saying you selected one. Okay, in order to create something in response to our action, here our action is to select something, we need to go to server. Okay, we left it empty before, but now we need to do something here. Okay, we type output because it will be output, right? Our text will be output. You selected a number, it's an output in response to our action, right? So it's output. Output what? Okay, in order to have something, we need to specify here in UI that we will have an output, okay? And it will be text output, right? So it's text output, and we name it. Let's say we call it out. Okay, we need to name it in order to reference it in here. That's why I referenced it here. As you can see, out. We call it out. So output out, we assign something to it. So here render text, because it will be text. Okay, when our output will be table, we'll have render table, but here we need render text. Okay, we have other things, render image, render plot. It depends on what kind of output you want. Here we want simple text, so it will be render text. Do this, and as an output, let's say as an output I want a simple thing, simple hello. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it works. No matter what I choose, it will be hello, okay? But we want interactive thing. We want a number appear here, what we chose, okay? So we don't type just hello. We type paste. As you can see, paste is for pasting different strings together. So here I say you selected space, you selected, and here input num. Here num again references this num here. That's why we called it here, as I said earlier, input ID. We need ID. It's kind of naming this select, okay, naming select. Here I reference this, so I say that, okay, I mean this select input, because we may have a lot of select inputs here, okay? Let's say we have bunch of select inputs here and with different names, okay? I need to specify which select input I mean, okay? So that's why naming is very important. So I call it input, okay? This is output, but this is when I reference select input. This is input, so this is input $num, okay? Which means I mean this, and it goes and takes this, okay? Whatever I choose, it chooses this and brings it here. And now let's run this. As you can see, you selected 1. When I choose 2, you selected 2. What is changing here is actually this, because this is changing. Every time I choose new one, new number is assigned to this select input, so this appears in this interactive app. So that's interesting. That's nice. And I choose 5, 4. So as you can see, this is interesting. We can have anything, not just numbers. Let's say Germany, USA, UK, and France. I can see it always chooses. You selected USA, you selected UK, you selected France, you selected Germany. This is the simple, okay? So what we need to understand here is that in UI case, in user interface, we choose what will be in our system, what will be in our app, okay? When you will have output, you should specify it. When you will have input, drop down, select input, you should specify it. When you have title, you should specify it. But in server is action. Server is for action. Here we had an action. We selected an input from drop down. Okay, we selected an input from drop down, and in response to that, we had a output. So in order for this, we need to go to server and specify what that is. So this was our first tutorial, and here we learned how to create a simple R Shiny app. And in later lessons, I'll go deeper and deeper, deepening the knowledge and bringing to you even more comprehensive and more interesting apps, more interesting projects. So stay tuned. See you later, guys.